The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
The principle is, if Borei Olam wants you to have it, you're going to have it regardless. And nobody will be able to take it away from you. And we believe if it's meant, it's going to come to you, and all the winds in the world cannot stop something that belongs to you. If you have a penny in your pocket, that means God wants it there. If you found a penny in the street and you put it in your pocket, Borei Olam wants that penny in your pocket. It's yours, and nobody can take it. The Ben Ish Chai brings it's almost a comical story, but it's a story that he says is a true story that took place in Yerushalayim many years ago, of a fellow called Abraham. Abraham was a craftsman. He worked with wood, and he was a wealthy man. And he amassed a large amount of wealth, and all his wealth he had in his house, in his private vault. One day Abraham went on a trip with his wife. As they went on a trip, robbers came. A guy came, broke into his house, and took all his wealth. Abraham came home, saw his house was ransacked, his wealth was taken. What is he going to do? This is what Borei Olam wants. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevorach. God gave, God took, let the name of God be blessed. He remained strong in his religion. The thief went, took his money, and he went to En Gedi. Got to En Gedi, and as he was climbing the mountains over there to count his money, he had a massive heart attack, and he died on the spot. He died with the money right on his chest. Came another fellow who went touring that day in En Gedi by the name of Ephraim. Ephraim saw a guy dead there. Mitzvah. This is from the biggest mitzvah, to see a dead guy and bury him. So he dug a grave right on the spot, the law says, right where you find him, you bury him. And he buried him. As he was burying him, he noticed the guy has a whole sack of money. Thank you, Borei Olam. This is what the rabbis teach us. If you do a mitzvah, you get paid back. I didn't know it's so fast. The fruits are in this world. He went wild, the guy. He took the money home, got to his house. That night he put the money under his bed and he went to sleep. He had a dream. In the dream they told him, that's not your money. Give the money back to the one it belongs to. He got up the next morning, and for the first couple of minutes he was startled by the dream. And then he said that we learned in the Gemara, Berachot, Halamot, Hashem Yedaberu. You're not supposed to believe in dreams. They're sketch. They told us they're all false. You thought about something in the day, you think about it at night. Leave it. So he left it. He had the dream again, but he was already believing with the opinion that says we don't go with dreams. His father sent a message to him that he was very sick. He needs him to come take care of him before he dies. So he was worried to go to his father's house. What was she do with the money? So he went and took the money, went to his garden. He had a big tree, made a hole in the tree, put the money in the tree, sealed the tree up. Nobody could see it. He went to his father. That night there was a storm in the area where Ephraim lived, and all the trees in his garden were uprooted, and they all started to float away. Came a wood merchant, saw a big jazz tree like this, unbelievable. There's a big tree over there. I get a lot of money for this. So he went and took the tree and brought it to Yerushalayim. Anybody want to buy a big tree? Comes Avraham, the craftsman with trees. He says, yeah, what are you talking about? Of course, this is a genuine piece of wood over here. I want it. He pays the money for it, takes the tree home. He breaks it open. Sure enough, the money's right there. Thank you, Borei Olam, you brought back my lost object. He's praising Borei Olam. Unbelievable. That was a big miracle. What did Abraham learn from that? Borei Olam wants you to have that money. All the thieves in the world could come, but he'll turn over the whole world and make a storm and make everything happen. No miracles, but it's all natural occurrences. But nothing in that story so far is miraculous. It's all just a chain of events that subsequently happen one after another, but all things happening at the right time. And anyway, This guy Ephraim, Miskin, he came home, his garden's all ruined, all his wealth, all his dreams, now he became a honey. So he had to go look for a job. So Ephraim goes to Yerushalayim, he's looking for a job. This guy now, Abraham, just got all his wealth back, so he was now reinvesting in his business. So he needed workers, so he puts a sign up here, we need workers. So Ephraim comes to Abraham and says, I need work. So, okay, come work. After telling him the story one time, my money was lost. As he's talking, so Ephraim says, yeah, I know, with the tree. He said, how do you know about the tree? I didn't even tell you about the tree yet. How do you know the end of the story? He says, who do you think the guy was? I was the guy. I had the tree. Hashem, or that tree. It's the worst thing in my life. I was there. Borei Olam wanted you to have it. So Abraham says, what? You were the messenger through God brought back my money? I want to give you something. No, I don't want that. Do me a favor. Your money's yours. Bad luck. Keep your money. No, I want to give you. No, you don't want to take it. Okay. Abraham had an idea. Abraham had a daughter. He was getting married. They were making Sheva Bitachon. Ephraim had vacation, so they were sending him off. So Abraham tells his wife, listen, make a bread, make a chali for Ephraim to eat on the way. And put 100 coins, gold coins in the chali. And give it to him. He'll open the bread, see the ones in there. One knows. Borei Olam gave him a gift. Okay. There you go. He puts the 100 coins in the bread. Ephraim, enjoy your vacation. Take some bread. And he makes it like, no, here's a piece. Here, take this one. Okay, he takes it. He's going outside. So as he's going by the tax collectors outside the city, the tax collector sees a big loaf of bread over there. He says, hey, that looks like a good loaf. I'll buy it from you. Take it. Hey, give me $3. Takes it and gives him the bread. Turned out that tax collector was invited to the Shiva Berachot. And the olden days, the custom was, everyone used to bring some food to the Shiva Berachot. So the tax collector comes to the Shiva Berachot, comes to Abraham, Abraham, very nice, beautiful. What did you bring us? I'm sorry, Mehila, sure, I didn't have a chance, my wife was away, I couldn't drink, I bought you a loaf of bread. He looks at the bread, that's the bread. That's the bread.
Can't give it away.
What a mazal this Ephraim has, and what a mazal this Abraham has. Oh, Ephraim comes back from his vacation. Ephraim, what happened to that bread that I gave you? What bread? I sold it to the tax collector. He says, do you know what was in that bread? He says, here's that bread. Open it. He hacks it open. The coins start coming out. Hashem, Borei Olam wanted you to have the money. I knew I shouldn't have taken it. I knew it's that's good. I didn't take it in the first place. It's yours. Again, you see, if it's yours, it's yours. No matter what happened, you could put it in the guy's pocket. You could say, please take it. But there's a boomerang. If it's yours, it's just going to come right back to you. And the end of the story, Abraham, he really wanted to give him the money, so what happened was, he says, you take my daughter in marriage, and once you take his daughter, your mazal will change, and I'll be able to give you. He gave him a third of his wealth, and lived happily ever after. There was a ma'aseh written in one of the papers a couple of years back. Famous ma'aseh, you must have heard it, in Switzerland. Switzerland, there was a fellow that was a very wealthy man. We tell the story over a lot. He had millions of dollars. And he didn't have any heirs. And he left in his will that this money that I have should be distributed to the most patriotic citizen of Switzerland. So once the government got hold of this will, and the judges in the court got a hold of the terminology of his will, the most patriotic citizen of Switzerland, what is the most patriotic citizen? How do you define that? So one judge said it's the one that pays the most taxes. That makes sense. Another one said it's the one that served in the army for the longest period of time. He fought for his country with the most medals. They went back and forth. It was in the courts deciding how to classify who the most loyal man of Switzerland is. Till they all came to the conclusion that the most loyal man in Switzerland is the man that brought to the world the most Swiss nationals. Meaning the one that has the most children. Because he has populated Switzerland, has created Swiss nationals. So they went and they checked and they looked, and who's going to have the most children? It's obviously going to be some Hasid, some religious guy, and they found Some religious guy sitting in the kollel with 14 children, miskin, living ala aretz v'ala mazon, living very simple life. And all of a sudden, one day the government comes to his house, and here's a check for $4 billion. Where's this come from? You're mabruk, you got it from this guy. Who's the guy? I don't know the guy. We don't know the guy. He just said the most patriotic citizen, and you're the guy. What does that tell you? That tells you, if it's earmarked for you, and your name is on the ticket in Shamayim, so then Borei Olam has a lot of messages. So when we think we're working, we're trying to, if Borei Olam will get it here in much more awkward ways than your work. If Borei Olam could get it to you regardless of your effort. Right. The famous story that we tell also on the subject of Bitachon. These stories, it's mitzvah to hear these stories. Because then you see already Hashkahat Hashem. We don't believe in coincidences. There's a Ramban. Let me read Ramban. I brought it here. Listen to Ramban. Now again, none of the stories we told tonight are blatant miracles. They're not open miracles, but you wouldn't argue that these are miracles of nature. Nature, which we call Hateva, if you take Hateva, how much does that equal numerically? Should equal 86. Elohim is also numerically 86. So Hateva has the stamp of God on it. Nature is God. The Goyim invented a fairy tale, another Mother Goose item, and they called it Mother Nature. So Mother Nature is, in one word, apikorsut. Because Mother Nature is trying to say, there's God, and then there's Mother Nature, as if it's an entity in itself. As if it's a being, as if it's something that's controlled by this fictitious item called Mother Nature. Sheker v'chazam. Mother Nature is God, Father Nature is God, everything is God. The Ramban says, what's the Ramban? The end of Parashat Bo. He says like this, his words are tough. Wow. I quote, ומן הניסים הגדולים המפורסמים, from the open, blatant miracles that a person will see, meaning these supernatural miracles, the Kiryat Yansufs, the Matan Torahs, the flying on the cart, all those supernatural miracles, Adam Modeh, it should bring a person to the reality, Benisim Anistarim, to the hidden miracles, to the miracles of your life, to the miracles of nature, to the miracles that are happening every single day without the sea splitting, just the coincidences that happen in life, the mikre, the happenings, and the way Borei Olam weaves it all together from the open miracles that God did. That's an indication that the same God that's doing the open miracles is the God that's doing the daily, every single day coincidence. Now watch what he says. He says, She'en le'adam helek b'torat Moshe Rabbeinu. A person has no share in the Bible of Moses Ad shena'amin bechol devarenu umikrenu, until you believe that every happening in your life, shekulam nisim, everything in your life is miracles. En vahen teva, no such thing as teva. Teva is a no word in our religion. There's no such thing as nature. Everything that happens is happening from Borei Olam, and it's another chain in the domino effect of a miracle. It's just a hidden miracle. But if a guy has not even both eyes open, even half an eye open, not even one eye, half an eye open, and he looks at his life, and he sees how he got from here to there, from there to there, and where he's ending up, and he starts thinking, well, automatically he'll come to say that Ramban knows exactly what he's talking about. There's no such thing as teva. There's no such thing as nature. Just go think how you found your wife. Everybody sure has a story exactly how they found their wife. There's no teva in that. That's clear, you see it. Everybody think if they bought a house, think of how they bought their first house, the teva, think of the miracles that happened, how they ended up getting it, that they weren't going to get it, they got it. There's miracles all over. How you got your job, how you ended up in this class. Don't figure out the miracles over there. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing here. In any event, the Ramban says if a person believes in coincidence, you hear that word, hey, what a coincidence. Unbelievable, what a coincidence. You see a guy that you didn't see in 50 years, and you were thinking about him yesterday, and all of a sudden, boom, you thought about it, boom, he appears in front of you the next day. So the reaction is, it's a small world. Wrong, it's a big world, but there's God in the world. It's a small world. It's a small world. Let's sing a fairy tale. Edgar Allan Poe, you give a pasuk from him, it's a small world, and that's it. A pikorsut. Coincidence, what are the odds? Unbelievable. You believe it? No, I don't believe it. Okay, next. Who has to catch up? So over here you see a big yesod. You see a big principle over here. There's no such thing as coincidence. And everybody has a story like that. You were thinking about one guy, and the next day you saw him. Wait a minute, this happens. That's almost a miracle. What are the odds it happens? There's a story told in our family about my father's grandfather. My father's grandfather, Allah Hashem. His name was Abraham Assis. They used to call him in Syrian Sa'asite. They used to call him 6 o'clock. Why they call him 6 o'clock? Because he used to stand erect. He used to stand very straight. If you look at your watch at 6 o'clock, the hand is standing erect, straight on the 12 and the 6. They call him 6 o'clock. At the time, he used to lend money out to people. So he used to lend money out to different people. And he used to take collaterals. So he took collaterals from a person. The guy gave him his wife's wedding band. $5,000 loan. $5,000 a lot of money at the time. Gave him the $5,000. He took his wedding band. He went to the vault. He put it in his vault. He left it there. It's doing whatever, how many years? 3, 4, 5 years. My great-grandfather went to the vault shortly thereafter, and he saw that the ring is not there. The ring is not there. What is he going to do? Listen, whatever's going to happen. When the guy comes to settle up and pay the debt, that's how we'll worry about it then. Sure enough, came the day that the debt was due. There's no idea what was going to tell the guy. He lost, as I said, priceless. You cannot, you can't even replace these things. It's a wedding band, sentimental value. He went to the boardwalk. He's sitting on the boardwalk. He sees a guy he didn't see in 20 years. The guy comes to sit there. Abraham, how are you? Good to see you. Guess, how you doing? He says, unbelievable. Did you read this article in the newspaper? Now, what does it say? There's a clerk in the bank over there that found a diamond ring a couple of years ago. And they're saying if they don't come and claim it by Tuesday, she's going to get it. And that, unbelievable. She found an expensive ring. She's going, which bank? The bank over there. That's my bank. Wait till that's my ring. That's the ring. Bidiyuk, he went to the bank that day. He was known in the bank to be a Hashuv man. He gave the Simanim. That day, he got the ring back. A couple of days before the clerk would have found it according to the law. Sure enough, the next guy comes and says, oh, by the way, I have the 5,000. Oh, here's your ring back. They're like nothing happened. Of course, here's your ring back. But what are the odds? He decides to go to the boardwalk. And Bidiyuk, he sees a friend that he didn't see in 20 years. And he happened to read the article. And he happened to share the article with him. You read article, you always tell the guy what you just read in the paper. Bidiyuk min hashamayim. Listen, now, is that any less of a miracle of Kiryat Yatsuf? No, there's no difference. Because splitting of the sea, this is just as much splitting of the sea. But yeah, he didn't fly, and the other guy didn't swallow fire. And there's no supernatural over here. Everything happened derech hateva. But hateva is Elohim. That's the seal of God. A fellow was once on a train going from domestic traveling from one city to another city. Jewish guy, and the train, the Amtrak train, something happened, and it stopped. stopped in between the two cities. So it's okay, everyone can get off the train, and we're going to try to fix it. You get on the train in 2 hours, maybe it'll be fixed by then. You can go to the town. So everybody got off the train. This guy got off the train, he had to go to the bathroom. He's in the city over there. He has to go to the bathroom. He sees there's a funeral parlor. It's okay, he must have a bathroom, funeral parlor. He goes in. They tell him, excuse me, sir, you have to sign your name. No, I'm not saying. I just have to go to the bathroom. He says, excuse me, there's a funeral taking place now. You must sign your name or you can't walk in. He said, well, okay, it was of course we have to go to the bathroom. Okay, he signs his name, he signs his address, his phone number, everything. What's the difference? They don't know who I am. I'm going to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom. 2 weeks later, he gets a call, Mr. So-and-so. Yeah. You attended the funeral of Mr. So-and-so? No, I don't know who he is. We have your name over here that you're one of the 12 guys that attended your funeral. How do we have your number? We have everything. Oh, yeah. I guess so. I didn't attend the funeral. Your name is on the list? Yeah, that's my signature. That's you. Okay, please, we need to verify some information. We're sending you a check for $60,000. What's he talking about? He says the guy that died was a wealthy man, and he left in his will, whoever comes to my funeral. So this guy over here did nothing. The train broke. He had to go to the test. He decided. Why didn't he go in the bushes by the tracks? He goes to the funeral parlor, signs his name. No, and the guy's arguing. I don't want to sign my name. He's pushing the money away from him. No, I don't want it. I just want to go to the bathroom. No, sign. The guy calls. Did you go to the funeral? No. You know what? Pushing the money away. No, you did go. Your name is on. Here's the check. So does that make sense, that story? Could you figure any of these things over here? This is natural. A train normally breaks down. People normally have to go to the bathroom. Funerals happen every day. There's nothing abnormal in the story. And when he went home, he didn't tell us, why, you can't believe what happened. I went to the funeral. It's nothing abnormal. But that's nature. Nature is a miracle. That's the Hidush tonight.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org